Welcome back, Morrison Stadium. Josh Peterson, John Schreiner. Final night of the regular season for these two squads. You see the lineups there for the Villanova Wildcats.
Yeah, it looks like the same lineup they've used in each of their last three matches. So a familiar lineup for the Wildcats, and the ones to watch. Bryce McEnroy leads the team in goals and points, and Chloe O'Neill leads the team in assists. Those two up front are a dangerous pairing, and will be the ones to press on that young Blue Jay back line.
Speaking of the Blue Jays, as they get ready for this match to begin, let's take a look at their starting 11 for this one versus Villanova.
Yeah, and made some changes in this one due to Anna Groschinger, who hasn't played since the Providence match back on October 19th. So a new center back pairing, one of the first times this season for Creighton. And that'll be something to watch, how the communication is at the back, because it had been Grossinger and Rothwell pretty much the whole season long, those two center backs.
And this one is underway here in Omaha, Nebraska. Villanova, they are in. As we talked about in the pregame coverage, they are going to go to the Big East tournament. Who will they play? There are still so many scenarios out there for them. On the other side, Creighton knows they just need to win, and one of their assistants, Carly Kopetz, earlier today said that there would be no scoreboard watching for the players, according to Matt DeMarinis of White and Blue Review. So that's something that they are not paying attention to. We're not paying attention to through today, and then there's still another match tomorrow that they'll be keeping an eye on if they get the desired result this evening.
Yeah, and if you ask me, it's probably the best policy when you're in these must-win situations to just focus on the task at hand. You know, don't worry about what else happens, because the first thing that has to happen for Creighton is they have to win. It doesn't matter what else happens if they don't. So job one, win the match. And for Villanova, you know, they would certainly like to get that final home match. So again, they will not be laying down in this one. They're not out here standing on ceremony. They're out here to win, take control of the third or fourth spot, and get that home match in the first round.
Love giving the ball up to Heinrich. Heinrich, ball does go beyond that final line and out of bounds to Rebecca Gardner and the Wildcats of Villanova.
Yeah, as a defender, you've just got to be so careful with Heinrich. She's so quick. 11 goals, 2 assists on the season.
Nice job by Sam Rosette there to just hug. And now Creighton gets the ball back very quickly.
We saw Skylar Heinrich get to the end line there just a moment ago, and she's got 24 points on the season in her freshman season. That's already tied for the 8th best season all time in Creighton history for points.
Incredible. Scored a goal in her first game, 11 on the season overall. Just a tremendous freshman campaign for Heinrich here, right here in Omaha, excuse me. And one more time, because of what happened a little bit earlier this evening, Seton Hall 4-1 over Providence. They were up 2-0 at the half. 4-1 is the final score there. John, Seton Hall had only scored 1 goal in conference play, only 5 on the season, and they get 4 tonight. What a performance for them. And now Providence is going to be doing a lot of scoreboard watching.
Well, the likelihood of that outcome was so slim. I mean, not only that Seton Hall would win that match, but they won by 3 goals. They were up 3-0 for a long stretch of that match. And to win it 4-1 is, I mean, that's a shocking result.
Absolutely. Emma Brosh heads that one out of bounds. There it is, the up-to-date standings right now with this match still to go this evening, and then DePaul Marquette tomorrow because of the weather issues for that one. That one was supposed to be played earlier in the afternoon. This was supposed to be the final match of the regular season in conference play, but we'll have to wait another day. So the Jays, they needed 3 specific results. They get 1 of them. They are now in control for the second one. Here is Rosette putting it into the box. Villanova with an early opportunity, and the ball gets by Katie Sullivan. And not even 4 minutes into the match, Villanova has the 1-0 lead off of Bryce McEnroy's leg.
It's the one player for Villanova that you can't lose track of, Bryce McEnroy. She's standing alone just inside the 18-yard box. I mean, plenty of space to turn at the back. Easy pass over to McEnroy. The Blue Jay defense was just asleep, Josh. There was no communication back there picking up runners. And I'm telling you, missing Anna Grossinger at the back for this final match, it's a big deal.
Bryce McEnroy now 9 goals on the season, leading the Wildcats, and now 4 over the last 2 and 4 minutes. 2 matches in 4 minutes, 4 goals in that time frame.
She's had a spectacular finish to this 2019 season, Bryce McEnroy. 3 times she's been on the Big East on a roll.
And what a start for Villanova after Creighton had dominated some of the early time of possession. Now they need an answer very quickly as Grimaldi goes down. Losing the ball there, and very quickly to Bryce McEnroy and the rest of the Wildcats. And now an early opportunity for Villanova to just put the pressure on the Blue Jays.
It's not panic time. You know, Creighton's still got to keep playing their game. They can't just start hoofing balls up the field and hoping for something to happen. They've got to keep their shape, play solid, and just keep moving the ball through the midfield, trying to create opportunities with the ball on the deck. We get later in the match, then you can start banging the ball upfield. But right now, it's just stick to the plan.
Yeah, it's always interesting, John. You and I have called quite a few matches together as Stadler puts a head on it, trying to get into the box. Kept in by Joelle Love and the Blue Jays. But we've called quite a few matches over the years, John, and it's always interesting to me, certainly, how the team that gives up that goal responds. Do they come out super aggressive and perhaps give up another quick one, or do they stay in their game plan? Certainly not even 5 minutes in when that goal was allowed, as an offside is called. You really don't want to get out of what the plan was coming in.
No, and that's about mental toughness and experience. And I think that Ross Pauly, the head man, as we get a look at Chris McLean, the head man for Villanova, he's done a really good job with this program now in his 4th season. He's raised the win percentage in every season that he's been at the helm.
Sitting at 8-6-3 right now are the Wildcats, 4-3-1 in conference play. And the possession will stay with the McLean squad.
They lost 26 games in his first 2 seasons at the helm. They've lost 15 games since.
Incredible. And a very early lead in this one. On the other hand, John, as Fothergill has the ball and gives it up to Atkinson, how Villanova now plays. That is also obviously the other thing that you look at after an early goal. How do they respond, and do they feel like maybe they're playing with a little bit of house money and pressure the Blue Jays defense a little bit more than they otherwise would?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what the tactics will be here for Villanova, because the defense has been a bit leaky this season. They've conceded 26 times in 17 games. They're 7th in the conference in goals against average out of the 9 teams. So the defense has been anything but stalwart for Villanova this season. They've done it by scoring lots of goals to keep pace. So I don't know about getting pushed too far forward just yet.
Rosette was chasing it down, unable to get to it. Joel Love now gives it up quickly to Taryn Jacobowski. And the Blue Jays trying to put the pressure on Villanova's defense. Trying to get the ball to Love. Pass unable to get there. Nice job by Villanova's defense to intercept it.
Yeah, Ansley Atkinson with the left foot just didn't look comfortable trying to play that long ball ahead to Love.
Yeah, Barbara was able to step in front of that. Here's Molina. Molina spins around, left foot trying to get it into the box. Nobody there, but Sam Rosette will have it again. Nikki Molina. Nice job there by Keely Fothergill. Takes it away and gets it back very quickly. Taryn Jacobowski. Atkinson, a nice move. Atkinson, the shot's wide.
That's what you need. You need some individual skill from Creighton. Take on defenders. Make something happen. Ross Pauley, 5th year, trying to qualify for the first Big East tournament in program history. Now the hill a little higher than it was even when we started this match just 10 minutes ago.
Will finish with his first winning season at Creighton, no matter what happens tonight, since 2016. Last season, Blue Jays finished tied for their best finish under him, 7th in the conference, and an opportunity to finish in the top 6 and have his best season in year 5, showing that progress that the Blue Jays were hoping for. Rosh will send it back to Katie Sullivan. And Sullivan sends it past midfield.
Both of these teams are really programs that look to be on the rise right now. I mentioned, Chris McLean. He's really built Villanova up. They were pretty poor his first season. They only won 4 games. They only won 6 the next year. And they were 500 last year at 9-9. And now you see, right now they're 8-6-3. So vast improvement every year from McLean's bunch. Ross Pauley trying to do a little of the same here in year 5 of his.
And McLean trying to get Villanova back into the NCAA tournament picture. They haven't been since 2009. 6 times between 2001 and 2009 and none since. Here come the Blue Jays now, trying to answer. Heinrich spins around, nice move with the right foot, and an excellent job getting on the ground by Gardner. And a corner coming, the first of the evening.
Yeah, it was a hard low shot. Good little turn back to the inside to find some space by Heinrich. Gets that quick shot off toward the near post. Forces the save from Gardner. It's a set piece opportunity now for the Jays.
Gardner, a grad transfer senior out of Baylor. First big moment for her and the rest of that back line. Nice job by Villanova to clear that one out, and perhaps a counter opportunity. Molina slows up just a little bit with Fothergill on her. Excellent footwork so far, and a really nice pass. And Villanova, an opportunity early to make this one 2-0. Olkett sends it in, and Sullivan's able to pick it up off the dirt.
Yeah, that was a nice little run out right there between Molina and Olcott. Olcott just couldn't quite find that final ball. But I thought Fothergill at the other end, just not quite aggressive enough. Had a chance to step in and win that ball. about 60 yards earlier than she eventually did.
Goes out there off of Sam Rosette. And it will go back over to Joelle Love and the Blue Jays. Love throws it in. Bosak chases it down. And they're going to bring in the trainer. Michaela Stadler took that soccer ball off of her head. And let's take a look here. And also crashed into Keely Fothergill.
Right in the, it's like in the eye. They're checking out maybe a contact lens in there somewhere.
Well, now, you can't start. You can't start.
Well, there's a break in the action. Do want to remind you, postseason tickets are now available for 2 Big East Fall Championships presented by Jeep. Tickets to the Big East Women's Soccer Championship semifinals and final in Omaha, November 7th and the 10th. Head to bigeast.com/WSOC tickets to purchase yours. So close to that starting. Here's an opportunity for Love, and she goes crashing into Chloe O'Neill, and she is on the ground now. Didn't have an opportunity, is slow to get up. There won't be a stoppage at all, and the Blue Jays, a nice defense there by Heinrich just to take the ball back very quickly. Jacobowski loses it.
Yeah, I think Creighton want to press high right now and try to force a mistake from Villanova. Just create anything in the back. They just have to be careful. We've seen it already, Josh. Villanova's so dangerous on the counterattack. There's that ball through for Love. And she gets the first touch, and the second one, she just loses out on the physical battle.
You're calling him up, thank you.
And now another stoppage. 31-55, you see there on the screen to go.
It's a double knot, you see, Josh. It's tricky.
And it's cold. Though earlier I said it was cold and you said chilly.
I said chilly.
It's not cold, it's chilly.
Yeah, but even when it's chilly, your fingers don't work, right?
That's true. That's why I have gloves.
Okay.
I decided to wear the gloves.
I have pockets.
Yeah, that says it's 40. It's got to be colder than 40, right? Or am I just...
I would guess not.
Am I softer than I thought I was?
You're just not acclimatized.
I'm not.
To the winter yet.
I've only been living in Nebraska for 20 plus years. And play resumes here in Omaha. Final night of the regular season for these two squads. Villanova, they are in the Big East tournament. Will the Blue Jays be joining them? They need a couple of goals now. And they need some good defense. Some really physical play. Excellent job there by Love. Splits 2 Wildcats. She's able to get the ball back for a moment, and then nice job by Rosette to take it away. Sent out of bounds by Love.
Yeah, Joelle Love flashing the athleticism here early on. Chasing down balls, getting in there, doing the dirty work on this left side.
Number 14, Casey, 21 for 14.
We're gonna need more of that.
We've already seen her involved in a few physical battles for the ball. Fun early. Stadler is able to get it. She loses it though. And now Love has it again. More physical play as she battles it out with Molina. And Nikki Molina has it now. And she was grabbed from behind by Jacobowski, and so the ball will go over to the Wildcats.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are really pressing hard now, just trying to win that ball back high up the pitch. Turning defense into offense as soon as they possibly can.
You both are right there.
McEnroy knocks it down to Stadler. Stadler, left foot. And a nice job by Sullivan to come up and take care of it.
And a really nice job by Jalen Bosak to cut off the runner and just stand in the way so that she couldn't get there and challenge the keeper.
Jacobowski sends it down, trying to get it to Heinrich, but was unable to do so.
You can see that's the problem that she poses to defenders, because they think that they're well ahead. They have her well beaten to the ball. They've got time to maybe take an extra touch. Before they know it, Skylar Heinrich is right there in their hip pocket, and you're forced to clear.
Grimaldi was trying to get it to Atkinson, and she is able to do so after Atkinson chases it down. But nice defense being played by the Wildcats, and they will regain possession. Good work in the final third.
Yeah, it's Chloe O'Neal out there just shepherding the ball over the end line after Atkinson had made her move. It's veteran stuff from a young player. Just a sophomore.
Sophomore out of Plantation, Florida.
Were you surprised the number of Florida players
right
for Villanova?
Yeah, it certainly stood out.
The last couple of years, seeing the Wildcats, they're recruiting that South Florida area pretty well.
It certainly has worked out well for Chris McLean, as we talked about earlier. Getting better every year, have the Wildcats under his tutelage, and it's continued this season. 28.5 to go in the first half. As Sullivan puts it back into play.
Right now, Josh, this game is just one moment. It's a communication breakdown at the back for Creighton that Villanova took full advantage of. They certainly punished Creighton for their mistakes, and outside of that, it's mostly been the Blue Jays with the dominance and attack.
Yeah, even before Bryce McEnroy's goal, the Blue Jays had dominated the early possession. Now, the match was not even 4 minutes old when it happened. But still, the Jays had done a really good job. And it was, like you said, one breakdown, and of course, a really good player. 9 goals now on the year for Bryce McEnroy. Has had now 4 goals over the last 2 matches and change. And just a really strong season for the sophomore continues.
Creighton are going to attack from this free kick, even though it's about 45 yards out.
Jordy Rothwell, the freshman out of Madison, Wisconsin, she'll send it back into play. Nice defense there. Stadler just steps in front of it, and perhaps a counter opportunity for Villanova. McEnroy running down. She gets it for the time being. And she goes to the dirt. A foul is going to be called on the Blue Jays. Taryn Jacobowski, second time over the last few minutes that's happened. She doesn't like it at all.
Yeah, she's saying that she stepped in front and that she's the one that got kicked. We'll take a look. She's about to step in right there. And it's, those are tough calls.
Yeah.
Because yes, Jacobowski is the player who was contacted.
Oh, here's another opportunity. Great job by Sullivan to get down. Nikki Molina, I think she wanted a little more mustard on that one. And had she had it, it would be 2-0 Wildcats. Kick it as hard as I don't think she would have liked. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, it didn't have the body shape quite right to put enough on it. It was just a snap opportunity that fell to her somewhat, accidentally for a scramble in the box.
Nice job by Sullivan. 48th save now of the season for the sophomore out of Wheaton, Illinois. Fothergill. And just too many Wildcats down there.
That was good initially by Fothergill, skipping past the defender, keeping her balance in a good physical challenge, but the Villanova defense really compact whenever Creighton comes forward right now. They had a lot of bodies in the box.
It was Ross Pauly in his 5th season with Creighton. Just about 20 minutes into this match.
And Ross said from the outset that one of the goals for this team was to make the conference tournament. So a great start to the season. They were 6-1, riding high. They were number 37, I believe, as high as the 37 in the RPI, leading the conference.
Rosette. Sullivan did get her mitts on it, and so that will now lead to a corner. And that was wide too, so she didn't even need to touch that one. And now the first corner opportunity for the Wildcats. We'll take a look at this.
Yeah, it's a misjudge by Sullivan. And she thought she could come across and snag it and restart the attack, but slips through the fingertips. It was a set piece opportunity now for Villanova.
They keep it low. Safard, and that one is high.
That's a training ground routine right there. Take the free kick short, wait for the runner to come from deep. And the Safard strike just not good enough in the end.
So Sullivan and the Blue Jays get away with that one. And now Sullivan will send it back into play. Grimaldi chasing it down, it'll go out. Off of the Wildcats. And Villanova, they just take it right back.
Yeah, Atkinson, Grimaldi threw the ball into Atkinson, who was trapped between two defenders. It wasn't a great throw-in.
And now another opportunity, and that one is high off of the foot of Molina.
Checking in for the Wildcats.
Another chance for Nikki Molina, the sophomore out of Miami. And we'll take a look.
It's just a first-time opportunity for Molina. She scooped it, got the foot underneath the ball. Didn't strike all the way through.
Was on the 2018 All-Big East freshman team. And there's another opportunity for the Wildcats. We've had a few of those so far. That one deflects off of Love. Blue Jays get it back. Here's Jacobowski. She has Love to her left. Drops it off. Joelle Love trapped now, and it will go to Villanova.
Interesting.
Thought that might have been out off of Villanova. I thought we were going to have a corner there.
Yeah, it looked like the Villanova player had touched it last live. Be interested to see the replay so you can tell exactly what happened. Here's Love, goes into the corner, starts to pull the shield up a little bit. That's tough. It's tough to see. It may have come off Joelle Love. It may not have. We'll never know.
Yeah, that's one. Seeing it live and then seeing that replay, it really could have been called either way. But Villanova, they dodge one there, a potential opportunity, potential set piece.
Well done, well done.
Here's Harks. Nice defense being played by Molina. We've said her name a lot so far. Shannon Casey as well.
Connect.
Coming in off the bench.
Good, get fine team, fine team. Push out, come on, Nick.
Jacobowski sending it down to Love. Love in that same corner she was in just a moment ago. And this time there will be a corner as it goes out off of Kristen Barber.
Well, you can see what the plan is for Creighton. They want to run their two wingers deep into the corners, try to get to the end line and work for the cutback. But so far, the outside backs for Villanova have been up to the task. They've been cutting off, giving away a couple of corners, but haven't conceded any major opportunities off the cross yet.
Second corner of the evening for the Blue Jays. They had an opportunity, but nobody was there. And Villanova, wow. Trying to counter very quickly. Nice job there by Grimaldi to step in front of the ball. And Villanova, Safart will have it. Stadler. She has three of her teammates off to her right. Unable to get it to him for now. But the groans that came out of Morrison Stadium as that ball moved all the way across Rebecca Gartner and the rest of that defense, but there was no Blue Jay awaiting. And so the score remains 1-0.
Oh, nobody on Villanova's defense attacked it either, which made it even more of a golden opportunity for the Blue Jays. It's just both teams were content to watch it drop right inside the 6-yard box.
It'll be one of those moments that we'll be thinking about as this match unfolds. Here is Gardner, the senior, the grad transfer senior.
Ainsley Atkinson out there on the right side. Some of her passes so far in this one, Josh, haven't been very sharp. And she's been really good this season. Atkinson leads the team in assists, so you'd expect her passing to be really crisp. But so far, we've seen a couple of times she's just played it astray and hasn't been able to connect with a teammate.
Here's Kurlock. Atkinson, like you said, 6 assists on the year, leads the team. Jacobowski. Nice job splitting a few defenders, continues to try to do so. She goes to the ground. Nothing called. Much to the dismay of the crowd here at Morrison Stadium. McEnroy, physical, and then finesse with the spin, trying to get it to Shannon Casey, and is unable to do so. Nice play by Rothwell to take it away. But wow, Bryce McEnroy has been fun to watch so far. Blue Jays now with an opportunity. And Atkinson, another missed delivery there, was trying to drop it off to Skylar Heinrich.
And she just didn't have confidence in the shot with the left foot. She was trying to tee it up, waiting for a cutback to her right. Had an open opportunity with the left foot, but never looked confident in it.
Chloe O'Neal sends it out, and Atkinson and the Blue Jays have it back. Yeah, one of those decisions, John, where it's like, does she want to pass? Does she want to shoot? And I got caught in that middle ground and led to no shot opportunities even.
You know, this game so far, Josh, has kind of unfolded the way Villanova's season has. They're not generating just oodles of shots on the season, just under 12 a game. If you take a look at Creighton, they're just under 15 a game. So a 3 shots per game difference between the two teams who have an identical record. For Villanova, it's been about efficiency. 12% of the shots they take end up in the back of the net. That is a great percentage.
Jacobowski puts a right foot on it, and what a job by Rebecca Gardner. Just took it out of the air, lost it for just a moment, and was able to reel it in. What a play.
And Jacobowski shot it right down the middle, Josh. She finds herself in some open space and puts it right down the pipe. If she puts it to either corner, it's in the back of the net. Instead, she found the goalkeeper.
54 saves now on the year for Gardner. And that was a big one. As it came right to her, lost it for a moment, was able to pluck it out of the sky.
What an opportunity. Taryn Jacobowski created it basically for herself and just couldn't find the finish.
So now in the last handful of minutes, John, we have seen that. We saw the corner, and nothing to show for it so far for Creighton.
Really the only thing for the Blue Jays to be sad about in this first half is the score line, which, as you know, is the only thing that matters.
Joelle Love will throw it in. Crowd with a Blue Jay chant, imploring Creighton here at Morrison Stadium. Jalen Bosock. Heinrich unable to get to it in time, and the ball goes by Atkinson. And now here come Villanova. Five Wildcats, but unable to get it to any of them, and Grimaldi chases it down, and now the Blue Jays will try to do the same.
Yeah. Report from another score. Xavier and Butler. Xavier trying to lock down the conference regular season championship. They are up 1-0 on Butler. Xavier is 63rd minute. So Xavier on the verge of becoming your 2019 women's soccer champion in the Big East for the regular season.
will remain with the Blue Jays.
Had a 1-point lead on Georgetown in the standings entering today. Georgetown did get the victory in an earlier match against St. John's today, but Xavier had that 1-point cushion.
And another nice job there by Gartner again. Knocked it down, had to cover it. And another big-time play for the senior.
That was a flash header from Skylar Heinrich, and then a reaction save from Gartner. I mean, she doesn't have time to know where that ball's going. She just sticks her hands up, and the ball hits one of them.
Heinrich, 11 goals on the year. Thought she might have 12 there. And instead, the lead still remains 1-0 for Villanova.
That's why you like your goalkeepers to have great reflexes, Josh. That was tremendous.
Yeah, we've seen that now multiple times from Gartner this evening here at Morrison Stadium. Emma Brosh going to throw it in.
Other side, hard. Keep it on the outside. Keep it on the outside.
Love is trying to get it to Jacobowski.
And Joel Love just misread the game there.
And nice defense. Takes it away from Jane Olcott. Heinrich. Love. And there just weren't any Blue Jays waiting.
Yeah, the cross from Love left a lot to be desired as well. Again, that left foot didn't look confident striking it from that left side.
Not a whole lot doing right now, John, on the offensive end for Villanova. We saw that quick strike early by Bryce McEnroy. They've had a couple of opportunities, but otherwise the possession has really been dominated by Creighton. And you just said it, outside of the score line, which of course is the most important thing, the Blue Jays have really had the advantage tonight.
And Villanova's kind of settled into this counter-attacking role now here late in this first half. They're really not trying to possess or move the ball through midfield. They're just looking for a quick turnover and a couple of passes the other way to set something up.
Into the game for the Wildcats,
Very content to sit back a little bit on defense and try to counterattack Creighton now, holding on to this 1-0 lead.
Don't forget, postseason tickets now available for 2 Big East Fall Championships presented by Jeep. For tickets to the Big East Women's Soccer Championship semis and final here in Omaha, Nebraska, November 7th and the 10th, go to bigeast.com/WSOC tickets to purchase yours. You'll be here.
I will be, yes.
Say hi to John, wave at him.
Buy your tickets, come see me. That's what you're here for, right?
There you go. I would say so. I think you should promise
I'm
selfies.
the show.
Selfies.
I will sign your cell phone.
There you go. An on autograph request, but
Yeah.
that's John's calling card.
Well, you know, you get an autographed picture that way, as long as you open the picture that we took together.
Get them to play the ball.
Lincoln Community is proud to support Creighton Athletics. Why wait to promote your business? Go for it.
11 minutes to go. Ross Pauley calling out for his team right now. Nice job there by Heinrich. What a move. Will she be able to get the foot in on the goal? She does not. She loses it. Good defense being played by Villanova.
Yeah, and I think she got fouled a couple of times during that long run she just made.
Nice move there by Atkinson. Yeah, the Blue Jay fans, they definitely wanted a foul there. Didn't get one.
And the official, Jeremy Euchre, just allowing play to go on because he felt like Creighton had the advantage. And then Heinrich was unable to do anything with that advantage.
It's been a really physical game tonight, John.
Certainly has. Both teams have stuck in some hard challenges. But shoulder to shoulder a lot of times down the pitch.
Yeah, but not in the way where, I mean, there are some matches where you're saying, all right, this is going beyond physical. And tonight certainly has not been that. Good physical play. Good
Yeah, it's all been
finesse
fair.
play. Yeah, absolutely.
Bryce, get in there! Bryce, get in!
There's a chance. Under 10 minutes now, late in the half for Nova, and they lose it. Like you said, though, John, a really good observation a few moments ago. So many of their opportunities, Villanova's that is, late in this first half, have really come on counters. Otherwise, they've been very content to just sit back and play defense with this 1-goal advantage.
And they know what Creighton have settled into now as well. Virtually every time up the field, whoever's got the ball is looking for Skylar Heinrich for a ball in over the top, and Villanova's guarding against it really well.
Blue Jays want an offside call. They don't get one.
You look right there in the top left of your screen. There are 2 defenders just bracketing Skylar Heinrich as she moves around the pitch. They're definitely paying plenty of attention to number 20 in white and blue. Jacobowski protesting the throw in on the near sideline.
Yeah, her and a few of her teammates. You see there, Joelle Love, the junior. She thought that it went out off of Villanova as well. Here's a look at the replay. And yeah, there is a very valid complaint. And then it bounces around a couple of times.
Yeah, it came off Jacobowski's head, and then it went off the Villanova player's head. Didn't catch the number, but certainly looked like it should have been Creighton throw.
A little over 8 minutes left in the first half. Olcott. Bosak just stepped right in front of that one. That cold soccer ball cannot feel good tonight, but a really good play there by Jalen Bosak. What a defensive move there. Reagan Smith, coming off the bench in this one, just takes it away. And another hard tackle as Jacobowski goes to the turf. McEnroy has the lone goal in this one. Unable to connect there with Shannon Casey. Here's Love. Love sends it in, and that's wide of Gardner and the goal. Goes off the side.
The crossing tonight, Josh, for Creighton hasn't been sharp enough. They haven't found enough balls into the box. They've gotten into good positions on both wings, both Love and Atkinson. When they have made those runs down the flanks, just haven't been able to send in quite the right ball yet.
Bryce McEnroy heads to the bench as the first half comes to a close.
Atkinson came off for Creighton as well.
Nice defensive play there by Lauren Harks. Just takes the ball away. Kurlock. With a couple of Wildcats around her, spins around and gives it up. Jacobowski. To Brosh. Battle going on. Cassie Legband. Grace Karajosi going after it. And it'll go over to the Blue Jays.
Last 5 minutes. Expect Creighton to put the pressure on. Try and level proceedings before we head to the second half. They would much rather have that final 45 chasing 1 goal rather than 2. Because that's what they're doing now, Josh. It's 2 goals or stay home for Creighton.
Yeah, and if anything, John, as the second half will begin, and then with the final 5 minutes here, so 50 minutes left, Villanova, they're going to be able to play even further back as this match continues.
Fouquet coming on will replace Jane Alcott okay, a senior, 65th career appearance for her, and that's one of the luxuries that Chris McLean has with this Wildcat squad. He's got a bunch of players that he can bring in off the bench who are tremendously experienced. They've played in a ton of games in their Villanova careers and even their careers elsewhere. They have a lot of transfer players on this team. And it's such a luxury when you can start some frontline young players and then bring vets in off the bench to lock it down.
Absolutely. Love sends it high. By the way, speaking of halftime, fall sports update coming up. Megan Caffrey and John Fanta. Stats highlights as well from the first half here at Morrison Stadium. A 1-0 lead that came very early for Villanova. Will that hold for the rest of the half? You see the shots there, 6-6. Even. The Blue Jays, they though have made Gardner work pretty hard. 3 saves in the first half alone.
That's 28 again. That's 28 again. 28 again.
And that one will go off of the Blue Jays.
That'll be a really good thing.
Now it looked like Jeremy Euchre just having a word with Taryn Jacobowski and Joel Love as he brought the free kick back and stopped it. Wanted to talk to those 2 players. Perhaps just about the way they had been speaking to him on the pitch.
Also spoke with Ashley Kurlock too right before play resumed.
It's been Love and Jacobowski who have been the loudest complainants throughout this first half.
And it's really picked up as of late, as some calls have gone the way in which they are not fans of. Here's Villanova with a late counter opportunity. 2.5 minutes left. And nice defense for the time being by the Blue Jays. Casey, she gives it up. Smith.
Stay out, stay high.
And I think Villanova's getting a little bit fed up with how physical Joel Love has played in this first half. And from our perspective, we haven't seen obviously every encounter that she's been in away from the ball probably, but it looked like it's been fairly played by both teams for the most part here in the first half.
Yeah, at one moment, probably about a minute and a half ago, you could pick up on the field in the microphone, that's 28 again. Something along those lines. Here's Ruiz. Ruiz in the box, battling it out with a teammate. And that one goes out off of Creighton. Late minutes by Jasmine Ruiz of Villanova. It looks like she might have a chance there. 1:37 now to go in the half. Here's a look at the replay.
Yeah, Jasmine Ruiz is not a player who's been used a ton this season. Seeing some minutes here at the end of the first half of the final game in Big East regular season play.
Second corner of the evening, as you see there, for Villanova. Will it lead to a second goal? It will not.
And not a great corner. It's over the end line before it reaches the front post. Kristen Barber, she's an experienced player. She's got to know better than that. Started every game of her career, Barber. That was not a highlight moment.
Hey, who's going for it?
45 seconds to go in the first half. Heinrich chasing it down. Don't think she'll get there in time, and she does not.
Showing off that speed, Josh. She almost made you a liar.
She did. I felt pretty comfortable saying that she wasn't going to get there in time, and suddenly at the very end, I'm thinking, oops, my bad. Here's a nice play by Love. Joelle Love, a nice move, left foot, and it goes off of the post. She gets it back, puts it into play. 10 seconds to go in the first half.
8, 7,
Jacobowski.
5, 4,
She goes to the turf, tries to split a couple of players. She does. And wow, gets a foot on it, but unable to get the ball in the net. And that is how the first half will come to an end at Morrison Stadium.
We warned you about McInroy for Villanova, and she produced in that first half. Great goal very early on, and then Villanova able to hold on throughout the rest of the half under tremendous pressure from Creighton. Big opportunities for the Blue Jays, but they were just unable to convert.
Absolutely. What a half it was on this Halloween evening. Coming up, Fall Sports update, stats, highlights, and a whole lot more. And then, of course, 45 minutes left in Omaha between Villanova and Creighton. All that coming up next.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
What is a Villanovan? In 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts and solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
Welcome into the Big East Fall Sports Update. John Fanta and Megan Caffrey with you here as we are getting all set for the final day of the Big East women's soccer regular season.
Decision day. There's so many storylines in this conference, and we came into this year, Megan, thinking this is Georgetown's until someone takes it from them. The Hoyas have won the last 3 Big East tournament titles, the last 2 Big East regular season titles. Here's what you need to know that will have you excited for the Big East women's soccer tournament that could lead this championship to be fascinating. Georgetown, they're now in a fight with Xavier and Butler. But the one team that's taken them down is not one of those teams. That's the DePaul Blue Demons.
How about it?
It's crazy. So that tells you that Georgetown, they might not have the same top-tier talent separation. It would lead you to believe that we could see a new champion rise next week in Omaha. But first, we've got to decide a regular season title.
And I think the really interesting thing, John, is when you take it back to this time last season, the Hoyas had already clinched regular season berth and the #1 seed in the tournament with still a game left to play. So now this just stresses 3 points, all the more for the Hoyas going into their match tomorrow.
Georgetown hosting St. John's, rivalry renewed between Dave Nolan and Ian Stone. And for this Georgetown team, it's Amanda Carolyn who stirs the drink for them. She's got 10 goals on the year now after scoring against Seton Hall, 1 of 4 on the day. And you think about Carolyn and Paula Germino-Watnick. Germino-Watnick, such a great facilitator with her 6 assists on the campaign. These two do so much, and I just look at these seniors. That's what wins this time of year. Georgetown's got a dynamic duo. They know that the pressure's on them because Georgetown, they need to get 3 points to put the pressure on Xavier and Butler tomorrow. A Xavier team that controls its own destiny but has to go to the Selleck Bowl against those Butler Bulldogs.
And you just mentioned it right there, going to the Selleck Bowl. As we take a closer look at the Bulldogs, John, they were the runners-up these past 2 years going against the Hoyas, another senior-led team that has a lot of experience in this field especially.
Butler has been the bridesmaid in the Big East tournament the past couple of years, and they just haven't been able to get over the top against Georgetown. But for this Dogs team, they're so defensively stout. That's what this program continually calls on. For me this year, the biggest difference is Anya Savage. It's Soderstrom. They found ways to get other scores, and when you've got that versatility offensively, that could lead them to a Big East tournament run. But they enter tomorrow trying to get that number 1 seed. They are going to need some help. They need a Georgetown loss. But by the same token, with how good they are defensively for this Butler team, I know that you want to get a top 2 seed, and that's got to come with the result against Xavier tomorrow. One thing's for sure, they know how to get it done this time of year.
And I'm really excited for this matchup too, John, because you look at the goalkeepers with Butler and Xavier, their keepers are averaging the best goals against average, the top 2 in the conference. So you trust that stout defense that is helping you, and you're hoping that that's going to allow a lot of opportunities for your offense to get going.
No question about it. I'm fascinated to see here tomorrow what kind of a game is played inside the Selleck Bowl, because you've got a Xavier team coming in that is in control of its destiny. If they get a win, they're the number 1 seed, they're the regular season champs. And that's saying something, Megan, because 3 years ago, this Xavier team won just 1 game in Big East play. And now Nate Lee has led this program to some great heights. You think about Samantha Dewey. You think about Grace Barr. They've got playmakers both offensively and defensively, and they've got a goalkeeper who's getting it done as well.
Tony Bizzarro, for sure. And I think you touched on it a little bit there, John, with Xavier was chosen to come in. They were picked to finish 4th in the Big East preseason coaches poll. And so you get to look at that growth that not only they've had throughout the season, or throughout the years, to get there, but throughout this entire season. The strides that they've made throughout this year to now they're top in the conference right now.
It's amazing what they've been able to do. Jenna Prothapa scoring the game winner against DePaul on Sunday, and that sets the table for these Musketeers. I think the first 15 minutes of Thursday's match against Butler are so crucial for Xavier, because the last thing you want to do at the Selleck Bowl is allow Butler to dictate the tempo and wear you down. And Butler can do it against the best of them. So for Xavier, they've got to try to find a quick one. They're a good team in transition. And if they are going to come out with 3 points, it's hard to do. Georgetown drew at the Selleck Bowl. Many other teams have fallen short at the Selleck Bowl. If Xavier's going to do it, I think they've got to find a way to get a quick tempo.
The Selleck Bowl proving to be one of the toughest places to play in the Big East. As we now take a look at all of the matches that you can look forward to tomorrow, all streaming live on the Big East Digital Network. John, a full day of action with the very first game starting at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
That's right. You'll be at Shaw Field for that one, St. John's and Georgetown. And while the Johnnies are eliminated from the Big East tournament, Johnny Kajan is a playmaker, and Georgetown has got to find a way to stop her. I've got my eyes on Marquette and DePaul. This is fascinating because DePaul's situation to get in the Big East tournament, they're one of those 4 teams that still has work to be done. We know that Villanova's in, but for DePaul, they're in the situation where they can get the number 4 seed with a Villanova loss or a draw at Creighton. That's going to be tough because Creighton's got to get a W. You just think about these different scenarios for Marquette. We think that they're in with a win based on the scenarios, so that leads to a massive battle between the Golden Eagles and Blue Demons tomorrow afternoon. Must see.
Best way to control your destiny is to try and get those 3 points, and you always have to think with those teams who are playing in the later games, are they tuning in to watch what's happening earlier in the day to kind of, that puts the pressure on yourself a little bit more so too.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And if you're watching on Twitter, you can see other people who are watching, and I can't tell you how many other times we've seen coaches and players watching these games. This is decision day. This is what it's all about. You've got 4 teams in, Xavier, Butler, Georgetown, and then Villanova. What a job Chris McClain's done. But then you've got 4 teams in DePaul, Providence, Marquette, and Creighton. Buckle up. Decision Day has a chance to be wild with some tiebreaker scenarios that go beyond our bachelor's degrees.
And everyone wants to make it out to Omaha, right? That's where the Big East Women's Soccer Championship will be this season.
Absolutely. That starts up next Thursday and Sunday, semifinals Thursday, finals Sunday. But folks, on Sunday, this Sunday, you get the quarterfinals. The 3-6, the 4-5, those are on campus sites. Here we go with the postseason.
But first, we need to make it through tomorrow, so be sure to tune in. You can catch all 5 of those matches streaming live on the Big East Digital Network. John Fanta will be out on the game. Myself, Megan Caffrey, will be there as well. We thank you so much for tuning in with us.
When my time came to stop coaching, I was very fortunate that I didn't have to go cold turkey. I was able to start the Big East Conference, and we came across the sky like a meteor.
One recruiting year that they had that really turned everything around was the Ewan Mullen Pinckney recruiting year. It changed the face of Eastern basketball probably forever.
We just believed in ourselves and a lot of hard work on everybody's part.
Every March, Madison Square Garden is home to everything that is college basketball.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
What? How's the weather? Yeah. It's snowing out. It's a blizzard, but we ain't gonna stop.
Rightly, there were questions early on about whether the Big East could withstand the test of reconfiguration, and I think if you were here, we've done that and more.
It's a monster league now. Last man standing, bring the flag. Tough to coach in, but great for spectators and great to play in. The march of the Big East goes on.
Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska. Halftime between Villanova and Creighton. A 1-0 lead for the Wildcats after a goal scored in the 4th minute in this one. Welcome back to the broadcast booth, everyone. He's John Schreiner. I am Josh Peterson. John, this was really interesting because that early goal, it just kind of changed everything for both squads.
Yeah, it really did. And, I mean, Creighton always knew they were going to have to be on the front foot for most of this one. But for Villanova, it kind of changed the way they started to play, too. They were happy to sit back, try to counterattack, did generate a couple more opportunities. Nothing quite like that first one, as we'll see in the highlights.
Yeah, let's take a look at those highlights right now. The first 45 minutes of this one between the Wildcats and the Blue Jays. And it was this early goal by Bryce McEnroy that changed everything.
Yeah, and it's just really passive defending from Creighton. Just, a couple of sharp passes. McEnroy all alone, about 15 yards from the goal. Slots it into the side net, easy as can be.
Blue Jays did have a few chances. That shot goes wide. Gardner did a great job in goal, getting on the turf, taking the ball out of the air as well.
Yeah, this was a weird moment where the ball just kind of ping-ponged around off a long free kick and then came to nothing ultimately. This is off the corner where Villanova shows some good training ground routines and just put the ball over.
That ball just went by so many players on both sides. Jays didn't even get an opportunity to put that one on the net. Here's one I think that they wish they could have back.
Yeah, Taryn Jacobowski, if she puts it to either corner, it's in the net and we're level. Just hit it right down the pipe.
And another good job there by Gartner to take that one away. Here's a late corner that we saw from Villanova and didn't even get an opportunity.
Yeah, and then late on, that shot from Jewel Love rings the post. Gartner was not going to get there if that's inside the post, but Love just can't keep it on target.
Yeah, that was in the last 15 seconds. There are the stats. Like we talked about, John, in the first half, it is very even. It's just that the scoreboard reads 1-0 right now for Villanova.
Well, and you know, although Villanova shows 6 shots, you see that only 2 of them are on goal, and a couple of those were pretty speculative efforts. And Creighton has dominated the play for large stretches. They've been on the front foot. They've been pressing. They've been winning the ball back high up the pitch. But as you stated, Gartner's done a nice job, and the defense has hung on and played just well enough to keep Creighton from creating that deadly opportunity.
45 minutes to go in Omaha. We will have all of the coverage next here on the Big East Digital Network. Omaha, Nebraska, final night of the regular season for these two teams, Villanova and Creighton. And we talked about it, John, at the outset of this match tonight. Villanova, they know that they are into the Big East tournament. The Blue Jays, they need a victory in this one, so they're going to need 2 goals in the second half. You see there the up-to-date standings as we were trying to figure out all the different scenarios as the day has gone on.
Xavier has gone final, a 2-0 victory for them, so they will claim the regular season crown in the Big East. They will be the #1 seed when the tournament starts next week. Your Xavier Musketeers, the 2019 regular season champions in the Big East.
And the result that certainly surprised all of us the most, you see Seton Hall down there now 1-8, and that is because of a 4-1 win over Providence. And so now Providence, they need a little bit of help as well if they are going to make it into the Big East tournament. Seton Hall had scored 5 goals on the year, only 1 in conference play. They had 4 tonight, and John, we were watching the very end of it. They very well could have had 5. They could have matched their total season run of goals. Tonight alone, they end up only, though, with a 4-1 win. Only 4.
That was, again, a stunning result. I mean, absolutely no disrespect to Seton Hall whatsoever, but they had lost 8 consecutive conference games and 10 consecutive overall. We're talking about Providence, who's fighting to get into the conference tournament. I mean, you would have been crazy to pick Seton Hall in that game. I mean, I think the coaching staff probably would have told you that you're crazy to pick Seton Hall in that game. But you know what? They came out, they played like the better team, obviously with a 4-0 or a 4-1 victory. And all congratulations to the Pirates finishing off the season on a high note.
Yeah, and heck, if anything, you know, one of those building block opportunities. You know, you'll be thinking about it all off season long.
Hey, remember when we beat Providence 4-1?
Why can't that be something that we do more often moving forward? I imagine that is what they'll be saying inside of their locker room. All right, the teams, they have switched sides. Blue Jays will now be going left to right. Wildcats right to left here at Morrison Stadium. Is it officially cold, or do I still have to refer to it as chilly?
No, I think we've moved on to cold now.
It's a cold night here in Omaha. Happy Halloween.
36 is cold. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
All right, good. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your Thursday night. As as we've been watching this one. Very early goal. 3:51 into this one for Bryce McEnroy.
Maybe you got us on the phone while you're out collecting some free candy today.
There you go.
Save some for us.
I'm a Reese's guy myself, so that's what I'll claim.
Yeah, my number one's Heath Bar.
Heath Bar?
Yeah.
Don't know if I've ever met somebody that said that is their number one candy.
Toffee.
I don't know if anyone's ever mentioned it in like their top 5 to me. But that's why you are who you are, John.
That's why I'm me.
John Schreiner, I'm Josh Peterson. Nice move there from McEnroy.
Bostock with a great defensive step right there on McEnroy after she pulled several step overs. Bostock able to stay home, stay in front, and then win the ball. Well done by the senior.
So, John, what are you looking for early in the first 5-10 minutes or so? First, let's start with the road team, Villanova. What are you looking for from them as they lose the ball and it goes to the Blue Jays?
Well, they just no silly mistakes, right? I mean, get rid of the ball quickly, get it off your feet. You don't need to try and beat players one-on-one, especially not out of the back. I mean, the ball's got to keep moving and keep moving quickly for Villanova. On the other side for Creighton, it's kind of just the opposite. You know, you got to take chances. You got to take on defenders. You got to move the ball to the wide areas and send in crisp crosses, which was something they were unable to do in the first half. It's got to be an all-out offensive onslaught here in the second half.
Here's Heinrich trying to begin the offensive onslaught. Nice job, takes the ball away from Rosette, setting up an opportunity, and that one is wide from Joelle Love. We said her name a ton in the first half. She was involved on both sides, and that shot goes wide.
Look, Skylar Heinrich is not big, but she's also not afraid to stick her nose in there. Look at that, shoulder to shoulder with a much bigger player. Sam Rosette wins the ball back and gives Joelle Love a chance to shoot it.
Just took it away from Rosette after we thought that the grad transfer senior out of the Bronx was going to have possession. A nice play, but it ultimately leads to no goals scored. Early physicality, we started talking about that late. Something to keep an eye on too, John, is what happens if there is any speaking back, specifically from the Creighton side. We saw the referee at one point kind of pause this match to have a discussion with a couple of the Blue Jays, including Joelle Love, the junior. They seem disappointed with quite a few calls late, maybe last 15 to 20 minutes or so of the first half. And I think that he was fed up with it.
Yeah, it's primarily Love and Jacobowski who got the talking to by Jeremy Euchre. They were the ones who were mostly complaining about some of the calls, and Joelle Love, who had stuck in a few hard challenges and drawn the ire of that Villanova sideline, who were asking for a call here and there. So those will be two players to watch. Jacobowski, 19 in the middle, and Joelle Love on the outside.
Yeah, Love doing a nice job there to Heinrich. Long cross, unable to get it to Jacobowski, and there she is involved. Very disappointed in that pass. Didn't get where she wanted it. Nikki Molina stepped in front of it, took it away.
Yeah, and Jacobowski, she's coming from behind. She initiates the contact. Didn't really have a chance at winning the ball. She's probably going to get that call 9 times out of 10 against her.
Parks, nice job stepping in front of that one. Fothergill to Jacobowski, unable to get it to her again. So now the second time in not even a minute where Jacobowski wanted the ball in a certain place, she went to the ground there. And we have seen that happen to her a lot. She's gotten up slowly quite a few times.
Well, that was just a tremendous defensive play by Barber. Comes in with the sliding challenge on a pass that looks like it's going to find Jacobowski in space. And Barber able to slide it away. Well done.
Nice play to Fothergill. Atkinson. There's nothing doing. Great defense being played down in there. Wow, what an opportunity for Skylar Heinrich.
And they're claiming handball, Josh, and Skylar Heinrich was the first one to turn and yell for it. We'll get a look on the replay and see. but it certainly looked like something weird happens right at the end of this play, and oh, that's off the elbow.
They missed one. Absolutely. That should have been a handball. It does lead to a corner. Incredulous reaction. The Jays missed out on one there. Atkinson.
They're going to feel hard done watching this back.
Absolutely. Going all the way back to the 4th minute in that first goal. And that one goes over the head of Heinrich and the rest of the Blue Jays side. So not that much further into the second half, and the Jays have something go against them. The first half was their own doing. This one, not so much. There's another look. You see there, Shea Seyfarth puts the elbow right there. You can see it bounce off of it. And that should have been a handball.
That is a certain handball. That arm is well extended from the body.
Atkinson goes down, sends it high. If she would have been, John, she just tripped just a tad there. Did Ansley Atkinson, the sophomore out of Minneapolis. And I think if she doesn't, she's only going to have Rebecca Gardner in front of her and not a defender next to her, and maybe she gets a better shot off.
And as it turned out, she had Fothergill on her right making a run, and it might have been the wiser play to put Fothergill through and make a run herself right to that penalty spot and see if she gets the cutback ball, and then it's an easier score.
Already 3 shots. Not even 8 minutes into the second half for the Blue Jays. Oh, wow. Jacobowski just goes down, and this leads to the first opportunity for Bryce McEnroy and Villanova. Nice job there by Grimaldi to step in front of it. And that one cleared by Jordy Rothwell. So the first real mistake on offense near midfield for the Blue Jays, and it gives Villanova their first opportunity of the half.
Good clearance out of the back by Brosh, finds Atkinson wide open in space.
Ansley Atkinson drops it off to Taryn Jacobowski. Jacobowski, a nice move to just stop and have Huggins run by her. Atkinson. Nice move by Atkinson, and a really good tackle there. Atkinson able to get it back, though. And it goes out. Nice job by Chloe O'Neill to just come and take it away.
Yeah, O'Neill, she has been really good on that right side, and there you see her. She's on the honor roll this week. Chloe O'Neill and Bryce McEnroy, both of them, Villanova Wildcats, seeing them here tonight in this match. Very deserving award winners, as McEnroy's put one in the back of the net, and O'Neill's been really good defending for Villanova tonight.
Yeah, perfect timing there with O'Neill just taking the ball away. Here's Atkinson with the Let's Go Blue Jays chant coming. Heinrich stops with the left foot, unable to really make the defense work too hard there. Doesn't even get to Gardner. Good job by the back line.
Yeah, I think Heinrich is looking for a cross there, but she just didn't have anyone making that run to the center of the box.
Allison Breed chases it down. Breed, nice move, good footwork, but no Wildcats await.
And you see 6 players for Villanova staying outside the penalty box. They are not pressing up to try and find a second goal very hard.
And you can really see how they want to play in this second half. Heinrich just racing by most of the players. Gets by all of them. Left foot. Nice job there by Chloe O'Neill again on defense.
Again, somebody for Creighton's got to make that run right in front of the goal. She has no one supporting her to make that run. That's what she's looking for with that ball. That's not a shot. That's a ball played across looking for someone else to score it.
There you see the offensive and defensive players of the week.
How about 8 points for Kajan?
Incredible numbers. Villanova, they are so comfortable right now playing back, and they have done a really good job. And still, they've had a couple of chances on the offensive end just over 11 minutes into the half. Grimaldi sends it in. An aggressive play by Gartner, and a foul will be called.
Called a foul in the box. And we'll see if we can get a look what exactly happened. And it's a push in the back right there as Fothergill climbed the back of Jane Olcott. That's going to be the call. It's a push in the back against Creighton.
Gartner, it's interesting too, John, because she was very aggressive, came a few yards out, but a foul call anyway, so it doesn't matter, but really wanted to see what would have happened there. McEnroy, nice defense played by the Blue Jays.
You're good. Force outside. Force outside. Here you go.
Atkinson to Jacobowski.
No one running through the middle for Jacobowski, and then she turns it over. Now Creighton, they're not communicating in attack right now, Josh. No one's making the right run for the player with the ball. They're just kind of standing around, everybody waiting for someone else to make a spectacular play.
Yeah, that miscommunication has been a theme throughout this one tonight in the 45 minutes in the first half, and now 13 minutes in the second half. We've seen that quite a few times. On the other side, that lone goal of this one for Bryce McEnroy, her 9th of the season. Excellent communication, excellent passing, and that led to that lone goal.
Drop, counter, drop. Counter, drop. Come on, Nikki.
Here's
Come on,
Gabby
Nikki.
Grimaldi. And another nice defensive play there. Chloe O'Neal. How many times have we said her name so far in this second half?
Just been really, really good, Josh. She, along with Barber, those two in the back, just been so solid. And look, defense is not Villanova's forte. We told you the numbers earlier. They're 7th in the conference in goals against out of 9 teams. They've given up 26 goals in 17 matches. This is not a team that is really great defensively, but they are playing like it tonight.
Yeah, whether it's Rebecca Gartner, the goalkeeper, she's made some good saves, or really the back line, they've been excellent at just locking down the Blue Jays. And I think you got to give so much credit to that back line, really not even allowing a whole lot of shots to even get near Gartner. Blue Jays, they need 2 goals now in the final 30 minutes and change. If they're going to have an opportunity to make it to the Big East tournament, they need to win here, and then they need help tomorrow. And there you see the goalkeeper and freshman of the week, and we're watching one of those players tonight, Skylar Heinrich.
Yeah, she's probably gonna be one that, if Creighton are able to pull this out, it will probably be because Skylar Heinrich put at least one in the back of the net. I mean, she's the focal point of the offense. You've seen it here tonight. The Villanova defense is bracketing her with 2 players as she's making runs down the pitch. She's still gotten a few chances here and there. Nothing clear cut, but well, she is one to watch for the future.
And how about a season from Stephanie Rodriguez? Here's Shannon Casey. Casey. And that one will go out off of Grimaldi, and that will lead to another corner.
In for the Wildcats will be number 13, Danielle Nelson, or number 16, Nikki Molina.
Molina off, Daniela Nelson coming on. She hadn't played since the DePaul match back on October 13th. That's 3 straight matches that Daniela Nelson hadn't played in.
The junior out of San Diego, Nelson. And here comes the corner. A goal here would be so devastating for the Blue Jays. With 28:50 remaining, and they'll get a second opportunity on the other side of the pitch.
By number 10, O'Neill.
Northeast side of Morrison Stadium. Chloe O'Neill will send it in with the left foot, puts it in the air. And that one will go above Katie Sullivan.
Yeah, hit the stanchion behind the goal that holds up the net. So it was curving well over the end line. It's a couple of times now we've seen poor corners taken by Villanova.
Don't forget, postseason tickets now available for 2 Big East Fall Championships presented by Jeep. For tickets to the Big East Women's Soccer Championship semis and final here in Omaha, Nebraska, November 7th and the 10th. Head to bigeast.com/WSOC tickets. Here's Jacobowski. More physical play, battling it out with Connor Huggins.
No call, goal kick. Taryn Jacobowski again protesting to anyone who will listen.
We have seen that reaction from her a few times tonight. There you see her battling it out with Huggins, the senior out of Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Both players hand fighting. Kick out at the end from Huggins.
And she couldn't believe it. 27-18 now. And another Villanova player goes to the turf, and the boos have started here at Morrison Stadium.
Yeah, foul called against Kylan Grubb. They say she undercut the player in the air, which was Kristen Barber. And she did. He put a shoulder right into the hip of Barber, who was already in the air. It's a call that the fans here at home aren't going to like, but it's one that has to be made.
Barber slow to get up. Looks okay, though. Clock continued to tick.
That's a dangerous play. I mean, if you're a player who stays on the ground and runs into a jumping player, I mean, honestly pretty lucky to not come out of that altercation with a yellow.
Casey was unable to chase it down. Nice job there by Heinrich. She has a few Blue Jays with her. Fothergill was to her right. Here's Atkinson. Atkinson, a long cross, and Jacobowski able to chase it down. Sends it in. Blue Jays trying to get ahead on it. They were unable to, and that will, though, lead to a corner as it goes out off of the Wildcats. Ansley Atkinson chases it down.
Atkinson just flung a foot at it as it came through. Didn't know much about it, I don't think. Comes off ahead and then just puts a foot on it. Does come off, I believe, Rosette last.
Yeah, she was down there. Sent in. And another foul is going to be called. And a yellow.
Shown to Jacobowski.
And that was a quick yellow.
Yeah, Jacobowski got pretty aggressive trying to shield the goalkeeper. I mean, you could almost say she's setting a pick, right? She's pushing the goalkeeper to try and keep her away from the ball. Pretty cynical play, and probably a deserved yellow card for Jacobowski.
Yeah, and I think that had been kind of building as well, John, with the way that this match has gone.
And she's been really hard on the official, making a lot of complaints, raising her voice, and you know, as much as you think you might draw attention to things, you're also drawing attention to yourself when you do that, and you stick in the referee's mind. And Taryn Jacobowski now sticks in the referee's book.
McEnroy to Casey, and she can't chase it down. 25-10 remaining, just about 20 minutes gone here in half number 2. Alongside John Schreiner, I'm Josh Peterson, our entire Big East Digital Network crew, Morrison Stadium. Final night of the regular season for both of these squads. Villanova, they will be in the Big East tournament no matter what happens over the final 24 minutes and change. Will Creighton join them? They need 2 goals. Nice job there by Atkinson to take it away. They need a victory, and then they need help. The season for the conference was supposed to end tonight, but DePaul and Marquette, that match delayed until tomorrow because of weather. And the Jays would need a win here and then a draw or a DePaul victory over Marquette. Jacobowski. To Keely Fothergill. Fothergill goes down. The tackle there by Daniela Nelson. The Blue Jay fans and bench, they wanted a foul. They don't get one. Fothergill slow to get up and finally does. And she limps just a little bit. There she is.
It's a sliding challenge that's half behind. You have to look at the replay to see where the contact came, if the contact came.
Let's take a look.
Just does get a toe on the ball. Daniela Nelson. So good tackle.
Ross Pauly calling the referee over, wants a conversation on what just happened as the clock comes to a stop with 23:25 to go. Jeremy Euchre, Ross Pauly, and he lifts up a yellow.
Ross Pauly shown the card. You don't blame him in this situation for being emotional. There's so much on the line right here. There it is.
Was that, John, more about the bench than it was that actual conversation? Because he certainly was pointing over to the other players.
No, I think he was pointing at an incident that Pauly was complaining about, and, you know, explaining that, you know, there wasn't a foul there, and you continue to complain about it, and now you're complaining about this one as well. It's sort of a continuation of several things, and eventually Ross Pauly gets the yellow.
Well, now it has certainly reached that point of the match, just about halfway through the second half, John. We talked a little earlier about the physical play and how it was the good kind of physical play. And you wonder now, with this season almost running on fumes for the Blue Jays and some of the complaints that we have seen, I just do not think that Jeremy Euchre, the referee, he's not having any of anything really right now. And that one is going to go out off of Lauren Hartz and lead to another corner for Nova.
Well, the thing for Creighton is you know, they're frustrated right now. They feel like some things haven't gone their way. Certainly we thought they could have been given a penalty kick for a handball, but they have to not let frustration boil over, because you do that, you go down a player, then you've basically got no shot at coming back and winning this match. And then, you know, you play right into Villanova's hand, the way they would love to see this match finish out.
Barber sends it in, twisting around. Wow. And it does not go into the net. Great job there by the back line for the Blue Jays to keep that out. Katie Sullivan didn't even have to get her hand on it. It was Taryn Jacobowski. And another foul is going to be called. And the trainers are called over. And that was Skylar Heinrich. And you see on the ground is Daniela Nelson. And the clock is stopped with 21:40 left in the match.
It didn't look like there was much contact there, but Nelson clutching at the knee, and it's never a good sign. Looked like she might have just taken a hard step as that ball was cut back. And you know, when you see something like that, a player take a hard step and then down in a heap to clutch the knee, you just start to wonder, and they're not good thoughts.
No, and Jeremy Euchre, the referee, he immediately called for the trainer. That was very quick.
And
Was the foul call the right call, though, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know. That's a 50-50 call all day long. The ball, you know, it's cut back. Both players are fighting for it. And, you know, the ref most often is going to give the foul to the player who hits the ground first, to be honest. And in this case, it was Nelson, and Villanova gets the free kick. But, you know, it's a call that could really go either way. I mean, it could even be a no call, and you'd hear very little complaint.
Nelson now helped up by the trainer, as she not really wanting to put a whole lot of weight. And that's just tough. Right as the regular season comes to an end, postseason play ahead for the Wildcats, and you just hate to see that. Here's another look.
You watch right as this ball gets cut back. She takes a hard step right there. And then shortly thereafter, she's going to hit the turf. She's favoring that leg right there.
Yeah, so it happened really before most of the contact even took place. You can see the reaction of her face just change so quickly.
I think they got Heinrich on a second look. She's got the arm hooked of the Villanova player. So, you know, when you hook the arm and it looks like you're dragging the player down, whether you are or not, you know, you're probably going to get that call. She's got an arm hooked, and the other player goes to the ground. So it's a call that's going to occur more often than not.
Postseason tickets now available for 2 Big East Fall Championships presented by Jeep. For tickets for the Big East Women's Soccer Championship semis and final here in Omaha. Those taking place on November 7th and 10th. Go to bigeast.com/WSOC tickets.
And I will sign your popcorn box.
You'll sign the popcorn box. Earlier it was a cell phone, now a popcorn box.
Whatever you bring me, really.
Action resumes on the field. 21.5 minutes left. Blue Jays need 2 goals to keep their postseason aspirations alive in Ross Pauley's 5th season at the helm. And that will go out off of Nova and lead to a corner. Nice hustle there by Jewel Love to go right down the pitch and give her team an opportunity.
That's another match.
Fothergill sends it in. And a nice job again by Villanova to clear it out. Such great defense all night long. McEnroy moves the ball ahead. Got it to Karajosi. She tried to go around Jordy Rothwell and was unable to do so.
Now it's press time for Creighton. You desperately need at least 1 goal here to set up a big run over about the final 15 minutes to try and get the second. But before you get the second, you got to get that first. So it's time to start pressing, throwing bodies forward, going for whatever you got. For Villanova, the grind continues. That defense has been through a meat grinder already back there, but they have withstood the test. They've been so good, as you said, and they hang on for just 20 more minutes.
I was going to say, can they go back any further? But I mean, they've just been playing so far back. You know, they got the goal in the 4th minute of this match.
Yeah, and that midfield to back line distance has just decreased steadily as the match has worn on.
Yeah, every minute it seemingly goes further and further back. I'd say for the first, 15, 20 minutes, John, they were continuing, Villanova was. It looked like the same as the beginning, and about halfway through that first half, you could really see them start to just camp out back there. And as the second half has crept on, they have just moved further and further near their goalkeeper, Rebecca Gardner.
Yeah, and some of it has been in response to the way Creighton has played. I mean, they've put a lot of pressure. They've held the ball. They've created some chances. But you're right. They've been pegged back for most of this second half.
That ball goes by Kylan Grubb. She was unable to get a foot on it. And so now back over to Katie Sullivan's side of things. Josie missed that one, trying to head it. And so it goes by her to Jalen Bosop. And then it's sent out of bounds. This is what you just hate to see if you're a Creighton supporter. You really need to have the ball on the other side. And now Villanova, they can take their time a little bit, perhaps put some more pressure on your defense.
And when you've got that player right there, Bryce McEnroy at the front, one moment is all she needs to create something electric.
It's a job by the defense to take it away, but they send it out, so it'll go back over to McEnroy and the Wildcats.
It's just a little early, Bryce McEnroy, to be taking it to the corner to waste time.
There are still 17 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Allison Breed, she'll throw it in. Sophomore out of Boca Raton. Here's Kara Josie as she heads to the bench. And more miscommunication, but Heinrich able to turn around and get to it in time off of the pass from Fothergill. Nice job by Jacobowski. She has Heinrich to her right, trying to get it to her as she goes to the turf. Nice job by Fothergill to step in front of it. Heinrich to her right again.
Foul given as Fothergill was pulled back as she tried to go by a defender. Crowd screaming for an earlier foul as Jacobowski was again doing battle with Huggins. We saw that one on the end line just a few moments ago.
Here is Heinrich. And it goes to Villanova again.
Hands on heads for Creighton players as that one trickled over the end line. Last touched by Heinrich.
Natalie Fouquet re-enters the match. And Jane Olcott heads over to the sideline. 16 and a half now remaining in Omaha.
Now, Villanova, 2 matches ago, played St. John's. Josh, they were leading 3-1 through 61 minutes. They ended up losing that match 4-3, 25 seconds into overtime. So, if you're a Creighton fan out there, there's something to hang your hat on.
The Blue Jays, they've had their opportunities, and they had some early in the second half. Really, they could have leveled this match and really changed how Villanova had to defend as that one goes out off of McEnroy.
And Villanova fans will counter with, yeah, but did you see our last match? It was a 1-0 shutout victory over Providence.
Yeah, looking for their second consecutive win with that score. 15-20 now remaining. Ansley Atkinson with Allison Breed standing in front of her. She backs out of the picture now. Atkinson leads the team this year in assists. She has 6. What an aggressive play by Gartner. Comes further up, jumps up, takes the ball out of the sky, and the Jays don't get an opportunity to put it on net.
Yeah, that's good goalkeeping right there by Gartner. Just don't even give him a chance. In between bodies, absorbs the contact, hangs onto the ball. It's well done by the grad senior.
What an impressive play. Goes out off of Atkinson.
And Gartner's had quite the journey in her collegiate career too. She redshirted a season at UCF, and she played 10 matches over 2 seasons at Baylor, and now in her second season with Villanova, she's been all over the country really. Florida, Texas, now Pennsylvania.
And playing tonight in Omaha.
And playing tonight in Omaha.
Certainly in the warmer locales.
Yeah, Florida and Texas would have been a little bit nicer this time of year.
A little different.
Yeah. Conference tournament time at Baylor or Central Florida, a little bit warmer.
window is a tad warmer this time of year. Wow, that ball got behind a couple of Blue Jays. Shannon Casey unable to really get a foot on it like she would have liked, but that could have been 2 goals and would have ended this one with 13 and a half to go. Instead, Creighton still alive. They weren't going to be scoreboard watching, according to one of the assistant coaches, Carly Kopetz. Told that to Matt DeMarinis of White and Blue Review. Now they're just watching their own scoreboard because they need a couple goals.
That was a great win in the middle of the field right there. Bryce McEnroy coming through between 2 defenders to win a header. Keep Creighton from advancing the ball up the field.
Rothergill able to keep it in. O'Neal doesn't even need to chase it down.
And the feelings for Lauren Harks must be starting to bubble up too.
Be strong, Ellie Breeze.
Senior
Nikki, be
grad
strong.
transfer from Clemson. Facing her last match as a collegian.
Blue Jays having their best season since 2016, looking for their first winning campaign. They were coming into this year for the first time since 16. They're going to get that no matter what, but they want more. Shannon Casey with a few Blue Jays in front of her, trying to get by. Casey with Katie Sullivan in net. And a nice job by the Blue Jays to get it back. Love chasing it down. Love. She gets it. Safart in front of her. To Atkinson. Between a couple Blue Jays. Heinrich now. And another excellent play. Chloe O'Neal getting on the ground. Great defense all night long.
There's a crunching tackle from behind.
Yeah, that was an easy call there. Nikki Molina with this tackle on Skylar Heinrich.
Attacking free kick opportunity. This has to be delivered right inside the penalty spot. Driven, can't float it and allow the goalkeeper a chance to react. Atkinson's got to drive this to about 10 yards. Hope someone can get ahead on it.
Here we go, Atkinson. Just not the touch she wanted there.
No, it was a well-delivered ball, though, right to the spot where it needed to be.
Heinrich. 10 and a half to go. Nice move there by Harks. And that one is high.
He just had to snatch at the shot. There wasn't much space. She didn't really get a run up on it. Tried to stay down on the ball. Ultimately, too far underneath.
Couple substitutions made for Villanova. 10 minutes on the dot remain at Morrison Stadium on this Halloween night.
Well done, Bob. Back in, Bob.
Jane Olcott. And that goes out off of Atkinson. Another substitution made, Michaela Stadler is going to come back out onto the pitch. And we see Allison Breed, the sophomore, head to the bench.
Yeah, and for Villanova, it's probably about time to go offense for defense substitutions, and for Creighton, in reverse. They're going to go defense for offense, try to put more attacking players on the pitch.
Under 9 minutes now. Heinrich. And another great defensive play. Guess who?
O'Neal's been a monster. Chloe O'Neal is player of the game for Villanova, as far as I'm concerned. She has just been absolutely locked down perfect at the back.
Yeah, and she's really raised her level of play in the second half. We saw it in the first, but the second half, she has been incredible for this Villanova side. Looked like there was a handball, and indeed there was. Gives it back to the Blue Jays. And the clock will be stopped. Looked like Jacobowski might have some blood on her leg.
In for the Blue Jays to be number 25, Cassie Lake.
Clock, did not stop. It is continuing to tick. 7:55 to go as she runs over there very quickly. The ref pointed right at her left leg.
Yeah, they're just cleaning some blood off the side of her thigh.
Clock continues to tick. 7:40 now.
Taryn Jacobowski, who's been a warrior, 4-year starter for this program. It's her career. Only have 7.5 minutes left in it.
They're wrapping her left leg right now, and she comes back onto the pitch. She's just about to.
Yeah, she'll have to wait until play starts and then be signaled back on by the official.
Clock has stopped with 7:36 to go.
Jeremy Euchre's had a lot to take care of here in this second half.
It was a pretty quiet first half.
It was, and then emotions have really run hot here in the second.
A couple yellow cards given to the Blue Jays. Seen a tough injury as well. Sent in. A nice job there by Sullivan.
That is well delivered by Barber from about 40 yards away. She puts it inch perfect to where it needs to go. He almost catches Sullivan in between what she wanted to do. Sullivan ultimately able to come up with it, but look at this delivery. That is just spectacular. Watch where this ball ends up. Right outside the 6-yard box. That's no man's land for that goalkeeper.
By the way, Michaela Stadler, you saw there, the way that ball was punched by Sullivan hit her head, so she is now off the pitch. They did reset the clock. What you see there is correct. It is at 8:02 right now. 8:02. And so we've seen quite a few stoppages over the last few minutes. Nice job there by Fothergill. Looked like it was almost going to be cleared by Huggins, but she steps in front of it. And possession goes to the Blue Jays. I think a lot of players were surprised as Lake Band is trying to chase it down, and there she is again, Chloe O'Neal.
Yeah, it looked like she was beaten. She was caught off guard, but recovered well, made the play.
And that one kicked to Rebecca Gartner.
It's Leg Band trying to win a corner. She's trying to play it off the defender down there at the end line, and the defender was able to get out of the way and just rolls harmlessly to Gartner.
You can see Michaela Stadler there with her coach Chris McLean. She will be re-entering. And here she comes back out onto the pitch. So not on the bench too long after she took the soccer ball to her head. Everything seems to be okay, and Grace Josie will head back over to the sidelines. 6:40 remaining in Omaha. This defense is really locked down even more over the last few minutes, John. Jays aren't not even getting opportunities that they had early in this half. Leg Band. Nice job for a time being by O'Neal, but Leg Band was able to get it back. Jacobowski tried to split a couple of players. And another foul is going to be called on her.
And she's got to be careful, Josh. She's on a yellow card already. And that was a really bad pull down from behind against McNeil. You're going to see it right here. Like she reaches out, grabs the arm, She's swiping, pulling at the jersey, steps on the ankle on the way by. Different official on a different night. Might have shown her a second yellow for that.
Under 6 now to go. Chloe O'Neal got up a little slow again. She's taken some punishment tonight, John. Very physical play. And she has been, as you said, the player of the match.
Yeah, she's just been so solid at the back. And anytime it looks here in this second half, especially like Creighton are going to break down this near wing, O'Neal has just shown up to cancel it.
There she is in front of leg band. Sent in. Another aggressive play by Rebecca Gartner. Excellent job with Joelle Love flying in there, but she was able to pick it out of the sky before she could put a head on it. 5 minutes left in this one as we look at a replay.
Impressive performance from Gartner tonight. I mean, that is a monster collision with Love, and she comes out the better of it, and she was the player standing still.
The senior out of Danbury, Connecticut, Rebecca Gartner. UCF, Baylor, now at Villanova. Stat sheet only says 3 saves, but she has done so much work.
Yeah, it's more than just the shots that she's saved. It's been crosses that she's taken, coming out on corners aggressively, taking away passes that have been cut back.
Handball called there on Villanova.
And all 3 of the saves that she did make, Josh, were impressive.
They were. She's directed the defense very well also. So a handball, but because the ball was kicked, more time ticks off, and Gartner, that one was easy.
Yeah, just a little too deep on the delivery from Atkinson there. Gartner steady at the back.
Jacobowski. Nice job to keep it in. Here is Cassie Lakeband. 3.5 to go. Jays need a goal, and then they'll need another one. And at this point, what they're hoping for is overtime. Katie Sullivan inching closer, getting near midfield. And that one goes out off of Lakeband.
Final 3 minutes. Villanova's going to be under a ton of pressure. They've played very, very calmly at the back, and they continue it.
Lakeband sends it in. Another nice job by Gartner. It's smart aggression, John. We've called games over the years, and sometimes we'll watch a keeper. We'll say that might cost him or her because that's too aggressive. I think Gartner has shown the right amount of patience and the right amount of aggression all throughout this evening.
She's been good.
2.5 to go.
The back line in front of her has done her plenty of favors as well.
That one goes out off of Stadler. Excellent job there on the clear. I believe that was Connor Huggins. Just sends it all the way to the other side of the pitch. Stadler with 1:40. Rothwell chasing it down. Final 90 seconds of the season for the Blue Jays, unless they are able to tie this thing up. Jacobowski. And a nice tackle there by Stadler as Jacobowski goes to the turf.
Yeah, she's trying to draw the foul, looking for an attacking free kick. Jacobowski doing anything she can, trying to catch a break. was not deserving of the call and didn't get it.
1 minute remaining.
Nice job there by Michaela Stadler. She clears it to Sullivan. 54 seconds to go. This is it for the Blue Jays. Final match of their careers unless they are able to tie. Jacobowski, one of those seniors. Fothergill gets a foot on it. Here's Legband, another one of the seniors. Sends it in. Gardner's gonna chase it down, and she gets on it with 22 seconds left.
This should be enough to just run it out. She can punt it down the field, and there's probably not enough time to send it back for another opportunity.
Here it comes, under 10 seconds left. And look at that, Chloe O'Neill. She is the final player to put a foot on it. And isn't that apropos for what this night saw? Villanova, a 1-0 victory. And they move on to the Big East tournament as the season comes to an end for the Creighton Blue Jays.
Well, what a performance by this Villanova defense. They were under tremendous pressure from a Blue Jay squad that was just firing forward, trying to find a goal. Skylar Heinrich dashing at the back line all throughout the first half. They stymied every opportunity thanks to a few key saves and some great tackles at the back. Connor Huggins in your picture there, she played well in the second half, as did Kristen Barber and especially Chloe O'Neill. That Villanova defense deserves all the credit tonight. They did the necessary. They get out of here with a victory. Looks like they're going to host a first-round game in the tournament.
Let's head down to the pitch right now. Welcome in winning coach Chris McLean. Coach, we were in awe tonight of Chloe O'Neill and that defense from her as well as the rest of that back line. What did you see from the sophomore out of Florida?
Unbelievable will, unbelievable grit. That kid has got the heart of a lion. We knew that with Skylar up top and Taryn over on the team that we needed to have that speed, so we moved her from the forward to the back, and it turned out to be a great decision. I mean, she's just an absolute genius in terms of, she can play forward, she can play back. She'll go on the goal if she has to. She's just awesome tonight.
Coach, when you took over this team, 4 wins in that first season, and you've improved every year since then. Got to 500 last year. Now this year you find yourself in the conference tournament. Can you describe the feeling that you're having building this team and now finally achieving one of those goals?
It's a great question. I mean, essentially it's been tough because it's been a long process. You know, you got a bunch of seniors here that, they don't know anything other than losing, and you got to go slow with them, and it's taken some time, but they've really bought into what we're trying to do here, and tonight they're rewarded to be, a 9-6 team, which is unbelievable when you play the likes of Florida State and Oregon State and Princeton and Brown and beating Xavier. We're going to be tested, and so for these kids to kind of grow from a 4-win season to a 6-win season to a 9-win season to being 9-6, it's just incredible, and I'm so excited for these kids. I'm so excited for the program. Villanova's an incredible school, and for them not to be winning, it just doesn't make any sense, and so we're just excited to be a part of it and help them to get back to the promised land where they were back in the 2000s. So we're pretty excited about it.
Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations on the victory. Good luck in the Big East tournament.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
That is head coach Chris McLean. He mentioned it, 6 NCAA tournaments between 2001 and 2009. None since they won the Big East Conference in 2003. They're going to have an opportunity, John, in the Big East tournament. A 1-0 victory over the Blue Jays. They move on into postseason play. We'll come back on the other side and wrap this one up as the regular season comes to an end here on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
What is a Villanovan in 30 seconds? Well, Villanovans aim high. Top 50 National University high. We think fast and stay connected. V's up. Villanovans think deeply, push boundaries, and go, go, go! Still with me? We climb corporate ladders and these ladders. This campus is our home, but you can find us almost anywhere. Villanovans have big hearts to solve even bigger problems, and we celebrate together. Ignite change, go Nova.
All finished in Omaha. Villanova gets a 1-0 victory over the Blue Jays. They move on to postseason play in the Big East tournament. The Blue Jay season comes to an end. Speaking of postseason play, tickets are now available for 2 Big East Fall Championships presented by Jeep. For tickets to the Big East Women's Soccer Championship semis and the final in Omaha, November 7th and the 10th, go to bigeast.com/WSOC tickets. John, this was interesting. That early goal by McEnroy, it really just changed everything. And the further that this thing moved on into the end of the first half and the second, as you see the updated standings, Villanova's defense just got further and further back, and they get the 1-0 victory.
Yeah, it's. I mean, all credit is certainly due to that defense. I mean, they went up early, and when you go up early on a team that's in a desperate situation, in a must-win situation, you have to expect that they're going to throw everything at you. And Villanova absolutely stood up. They were a wall back there in the second half. They gave away some opportunities. Creighton had their chances to level proceedings in the first half and did not take them. And in the second half, Villanova really just didn't give Creighton anything. There was no room to be had, and Skylar Heinrichs didn't see near the opportunities that she saw in the second half, or in the first half rather, after the break. And you know, all credit to Villanova. This is honestly probably the best story in the Big East women's soccer this season is Villanova. I mean, they're a 4-win team when the bunch of seniors they have were freshmen.
Yeah.
And they have just steadily improved under Chris McLean, and this year now find themselves probably going to be in the top 4 and hosting a match at the Big East tournament. I mean, you just can't say enough about program building and the job that Chris McLean has done to get them to this point.
And if they win that, they'll be right back here in Omaha. That match will take place, the first one of the Big East tournament, a couple of them in the conference on the 3rd of November, and then the semis on the 7th as the season comes to an end. The careers come to an end for the Creighton Blue Jays as they have one final conversation with Ross Pauley. So Villanova wins 1-0, and they move on into postseason play with that victory here in Omaha. For our entire great crew on this Halloween night, am I right, John Schreiner? I am Josh Peterson. Thank you so much for watching us. Look forward to the Big East tournament coming up next week. Thanks for joining us. Villanova wins 1-0.